I'm a chairman of the advisory committee on the Pan-African Youth Council.
Okay.
And we set up the Pan-African Youth Council to start a new positive revolution on youth development in the continent.
Okay.
And I met him. You know, I told him we needed his support because Nigeria is one of the biggest countries in Africa. Nigeria is, in fact, the biggest country in Africa and one of the major players in the African Union. And he supported the idea of having a body in Africa that would start the positive revolution of developing youths, empowering youths, directing youths to where they should be. Because if you look at the situation in Africa today, you look at Congo, for instance, Eastern Congo, you will find out that all the rebels, all the people causing the problem are youths. 95% of them are youths being manipulated by the adults. Now you see youths that don't have any future. They join a militia group because of 3 square meals. You know, it has deteriorated to that level that a youth will carry gun and be used to shoot just to feed himself. So we cannot continue, pretending that everything is all right, and that's why we're seeing issues in Central African Republic. That's why we're seeing issues all over, wars in all over Africa. It's because of not properly developing the youth, and the youth comprises of more than 60% of the population. That I mean, from the age of 18 to 35.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that's the engine room of a nation.
Yeah.
And any nation that does not plan for that group of people, as a matter of fact, there's nothing to look forward to. And when it comes to the issue of youth, you may agree with me that even if you are comfortable, if the elders are okay, they cannot afford to just sit down, because if the youths are roaming about, when the youths are roaming about, not constructively engaged, then you can be assured that there's no peace of mind for everybody. So it's important that we constructively engage our youth, plan for them. It shouldn't be a fire brigade thing. And that comes to the issue of empowerment. I'm aware that your ministry, your foundation or something, you may need to throw light on that. Who is actually initiating empowerment program? And what is the nature of the empowerment program that you have in mind, or the institution, the organization has in place for Nigerians?
I would speak as the special advisor to the president on youth empowerment, and also the chairman of the advisory committee of the Pan-African Youth Council.
Okay.
We have done a research. We've gathered the best team, and they've gone to the various strata of the society. They've gone to the streets, they've gone to everywhere, and they've done studies, and they've come back with this report. And what we found out was the youths don't believe in the society. The youths think that they are on their own. The youths are not part of the society. You understand? More than 70% thinks they're not part of the society. They are abandoned, and they don't owe any responsibility in the society, which is very dangerous. In fact, it's a disaster. You know, we have to start bringing these youths together, building an ideology base in their heart, because it's the ideology base that would make them be used properly in youth development. Example, let me just give you an example. We have a lot of youth training going on here and there, you know. Now, you just get a youth and say, oh, come and register. Somebody say, oh, there's some youth program for my local government. You know, come and register for this youth program for my local government. And he registered. He goes to this program and he comes back. You see, if that youth doesn't believe in the ideology of change and the ideology of being part of that society, he would know his responsibility. His responsibility is to believe that he's part of the society. Then when he is going for that program, he will have a responsibility to acquire the knowledge, and he will know the direction where this knowledge, where he would implement this knowledge when he comes out from the training. So without that, we'll be running a system that will be churning out chaff. You know. So until we identify the nucleus of this problem, we will not be able to create the impact that is needed.
Anyway, I'm of the opinion that the problem of Nigeria is not that we are short of ideas. I believe there's a ministry for youth affairs,
youth development.
The issue is what are they doing? I'm sure there must have been some programs that they've put in place over the years. I think the problem will have been issue of monitoring, evaluation of these things. To what extent have all these things accomplished what they were set out to do in the first instance? I think these are the areas I will also advise, apart from whatever you are looking into, you may as well also start by overviewing what the ministry has been doing over the years, and then critically look at the issues. I think the moment we set standard, there must be ways of measuring performance, and there are some programs that must have been put in place that do not fit into the current situation. We're in jet age, you have social network and other things that are filtering into human activities these days. But the challenge we have in Nigeria is that some youths that were engaged recently, they said they don't even have role models in Nigeria. What's your take on this?
That's part of the problem. You see, that's why we're doing this integrated youth development initiative.
Okay.
They're wonderful programs.
Okay.
You know, Shopee is doing a wonderful program. The Minister of Youth Development is a wonderful man. He's been pushing, you know, for the proper budget to implement youth programs. You know, now the problem we have, like in the earlier program I had today on AM Express, I gave an instance of youth today being a sick elephant. Let's say I've been given the responsibility of taking care of a sick elephant. A sick elephant has been dumped in front of me to say, okay, the sick elephant can move, try and treat it. Now, what we did, the government did, you know, in conjunction with the Ministry of Youth Development, is to try and look at this sick elephant and say, how do we start? Because you see, the elephant became sick I'm using an elephant because so it will be proper understanding. The elephant became sick due to long neglect of not curing himself or going to hospital when he's supposed to go to hospital or other aspects, you know. Now, how do we now take care of this dying elephant? You know, we look at I brought a team. I think I have the best team in the world on youth development.
That's cherry.
Yeah, we even create platforms, IT platforms to run some certain programs. I brought the best team, and we came together and we said, how do we start treating this elephant? And we said, this elephant, he first of all needs blood. You understand? Now we give him blood transfusion. Now blood transfusion means the integration. Because you see, the elephant is a big animal. You understand? You have big programs running in different areas, youth development centers opening. But if you don't use the integration mechanism or the integration approach, you will not add value. The value will be limited, you know. So integration meaning that, let's say for instance, a youth development center is built. We want to know who are the people that are going to use this youth development center. Okay. After the usage, what is the purpose of this youth development center? Okay, when the person is now rehabilitated in this youth development center, is there another program that will take him to another level? So you have very good programs, but they are standalone. They're standalone programs. So we need to now integrate these programs to start adding value to the youths of Nigeria and the youths of the continent.
That's great. Yeah. Viewers, this is a live program and it's a phone-in program. Towards the end of this program, the lines will be open and you'll be able to contribute and throw your questions to the to our guest today.
Yes.
Let me also put it this way. I think the performance of the Eagles at the recently concluded World Cup, it should be a kind of an inspiration to the youth. Everybody is happy, but what role do you think football is playing in the life of our youth?
Yeah, football is playing a positive impact in the life of our youth. I live in South Africa, okay. And when we started playing, people were telling me, "Oh, you guys are going to go out in the knockout stages," and I felt bad. And I told the people, "Have you forgotten Nigeria?" And when the match came for Ivory Coast, they said, "Look, you guys couldn't even beat Ethiopia with one man down." And I felt slighted. I told them, "Look, for Ivory Coast, it's going to be 11 man to 11 man. And knowing Nigerians, we're going to fight. People like countries like Ethiopia that are rookies in the game of soccer,
right.
Yeah, we have problems with that. But when you bring the Nigerian youth to a taxing situation, yeah, you see them perform. So they made me proud, but we must not be only champions in soccer.
That's right.
My vision is for us to be champions in entrepreneurship,
beautiful,
champions in technology,
great,
champions in the various facets of the society where youth should play a role.
Great.
Champions in education. So it shouldn't be, this should inspire the youth to say, now these guys that nobody believed in them came together and they did it, let's do it. That's the spirit I am here today, and that's why I'm speaking.
That's great.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to speak to your business, how do you cope with your private commitment and the public office you hold now? How do you reconcile the two?
Well, my appointment is on honorary basis.
Great.
Yeah, and I didn't want to take because I work for two presidents.
Great.
I also have a very soft spot for Burundi.
Yeah.
Burundi gave me inspiration.
Great.
You have a president who came out from a war. You have a president who came out from a war, and who has transformed a nation into a positive direction.
Okay.
He's a young man. You know, the average age of the executive in Burundi is about 35.
Okay.
The president is less than 50 years.
Yeah.
And he gave me a lot of inspiration. And it took time for him, or for the authorities in Burundi,
Yeah.
to develop trust.
Okay.
You know, when a Nigerian goes to another country,
That's right.
there's a trust issue.